I'm going to do a lead hardness check on this block right here. I think it's pure lead. We're going to see. So there's a website. I'll have to get I'll put it in the comments, a link to it. Anyway, what you do is you press a ball bearing into it with a set amount of force, measure the dimple, and it tells you how hard the stuff is. You can see I've just got a regular bathroom scale sitting on my drill press. I built a little rod with I just kind of center drilled it so it'll catch the bearing and pull it into center. You can see I did one dimple already, and that measured out 323, or 223, excuse me. So we were sitting at about 25 pounds, so we're going to crank this around to 325, which is one full revolution, up to 25. And you don't want to let it sit on there because it'll continue to push it out of the way. So there's our dimple. Right there. Ball bearing back in the toolbox here. Take our lead block. Over to the bench. And let's zoom this guy in here as much as we can. What the heck are my calipers? I would say that's pretty dang close right there. Yeah, it's pretty close. So 220. So that calced out to, I think, a 4.75 Brinell, which pure lead's supposed to be around a 5, so 4.75. Zoom this back out so we can see what we're doing here. Brinell. So I would guess that's pretty much pure lead. And the bigger the ball bearing you use, the more accurate that method will be. Give you a little bigger dimple. I believe anyway. The bigger the ball bearing you go with, the better that would be. So like if you had a 7/16, 3/8, something like that, this ball bearing I'm using is 0.343. So anyway, that's a way if you've got something soft, you don't know how hard it is, and you've got it in an ingot form, you can do that little test for casting, whatnot, bullets, to get you, so you know exactly what you've got. Like this one right here, this is a lead brick. It's off from an X-ray room. They line the whole room in these lead bricks. I've got access to probably, this weighs 30 pounds, and there's probably, gosh, several hundred of them. There's got to be 50,000 pounds of lead sitting there. This calced out at a 7 to an 8. I got 3 different dimples. You can see those, but they're all a little different in size. I took the two smaller of the two. One measured 190, one measured 183, and that came out to a 7 or an 8. And there's this little guy here, which is made from an old x-ray machine. And this came out to a 12. But you can see this one's broke. It's super brittle, so I think it's got a lot of zinc in it. I'm not sure exactly what's in there, but that's where that came out, was 12.3 when I measured the dimple there using the same ball. And I measured this stuff a couple of different times 4 or 5 years ago, and came out with about the same. It's about a BHN 12, or Brunel 12, excuse me. So I'm thinking I'm going to cast that x-ray machine up into just pistol bullets for plinking out of my 45 ACP. Should be fairly decent stuff. I don't know, I've never shot it before, so right now I just cast it up to cannon bullets. They're a little bit undersized, but you can see you can still scratch this stuff with your thumbnail. So it is still fairly, fairly soft for a metal, but fairly hard for a bullet. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't shoot it out of a center fire, or I wouldn't try and shoot it out of my muzzleloaders either. But I think out of a pistol, slow moving handgun, I think it'd be pretty good. And you can tell the difference. If you drop this, you're gonna hear a ring. If you could hear that on the video or not, but it's a little harder. And this stuff, well, here's kind of a comparable size piece that I checked yesterday, and it came out to be pure lead also. It's off of an elevator weight. You hear that's just a thud. You got a ring and a thud. Some of my little muffin tin ingots. Just a thud. And those I checked a couple of those yesterday too. They came out with a Brunel of about a 5. And this guy here, you hear that's got a little bit of a ring to it. And this one, more of a thud. So the numbers that I was getting with the little primitive hardness test, they quantify what the sound of that lead, what those blocks make. Here's some, I'm not sure what this is. It was given to me by a friend at work. It's pretty much just a thud. So I would guess I haven't checked this, I would guess that's probably pure lead. And these here I cast out of some sheet lead, and they just thud. So anyway, there you go, poor man's way to tell what you got. Okay, so here we go. This is, I believe, off of Roto Metals, showing that Brunel hardness is around a 5 on pure lead. This here's the calculator I use, 300 pounds of force, 343 diameter on the ball, and a 223 depression diameter. You just plug those numbers in. You need to set the inches and millimeters, stuff like that. Then you can see on the results a 300 pound force, 343 diameter, depression diameter 223, gives us a 4.75 on the Brunel, which is close enough to a 5 for trying to use calipers without a magnifier and stuff like that. The calculator I use is ajdesigner.com. And anyway, that should be a wrap on that. Poor man's way to determine lead hardness.